All right, so I wear dress pants pretty much every day. I work in a corporate office, so I pretty much have to wear, or I like to wear, a nice pair of trousers. And I've been looking for the best value trouser, right? Good fabric, good details, fits well, holds up well through washing and wear and tear and daily use, trying to figure out what that is. Today, we're gonna be looking at two options from two different brands, Uniqlo and Old Navy, and deciphering the style details of one versus the other, the fit of one versus the other, and figuring out which pant is better for the value, which one I choose to rock with day to day. If you know my channel, you probably already know the answer, but let's dive in anyways. So first, we're gonna dive into the Uniqlo AirSense Pant. I've touched on this full suit in another video, but this pant alone, great trouser. The price on these is $49.90, and that's US dollars, and it's an extra $5 if you wanna get the blind stitch at the hem. The fabric is 100% polyester, but it's engineered to feel like wool. They also have a cotton-like fabric option as well. I wouldn't say it super feels like wool, but it's not terrible. It's somewhat achieved in the texture. It's not as smooth and soft as like a nice wool suit, but it does have a little bit of a more techie feel, I would say. It's lightweight and breathable, which is obviously in the name. AirSense, that's sort of their marketing of this pant. So it's great for the warm summer and spring months. And it's even good for fall and winter, especially if you work in an office, because what I find anyways is if I layer up a ton when I'm going into work, I ultimately start, because if you work in an office, they'll have the heat on, so you ultimately start to get hot in the office, and that's no fun. Uniqlo does also state that this is a wrinkle resistant pant, and I would definitely agree with this. I could wear this thing all day, days in a row, change at the gym, throw it in my gym bag, bring it back out a few hours later when I get home, hang it up, and it's ready to wear pretty much right away. So that's a great attribute that it has for sure. Now, in terms of fit, I am a huge fan of the way that these fit. They're a slim fit with a tapered silhouette. So it's nice and modern. It's not too slim throughout the leg, so it's not looking like skinny jeans at all. It's a nice classic fit, and I wear a size 30, and I wear true to size in these pants. I do also have a pair that's size 32 in gray. I have to wear a belt with these. The size 30 fits me perfectly pretty much all throughout, no belt needed. The 32s, they have a little bit of a more wide leg look, I would say, not like gigantic like Jinkos or something, but not as thin and tapered as the 30s. Now, when it comes to style details, as I mentioned before, these come in a standard 34-inch length, but you can have them altered at the point of purchase, either for $5 to do a blind stitch or no money at all to do a standard stitch. I personally go with the blind stitch because I think it just looks a lot more professional and it's a more elevated look. I think the standard stitch on a pair of dress pants or a pair of trousers just looks a little cheap, but really it's about what you like more. There is a front pressed crease down the leg, and I will say this holds its shape very well. I have a pair of gray pants that I've had for a long time, and I've repressed it a couple times, but it's never gotten to the point where that crease is completely unrecognizable. I mean, it's always there, and it holds its shape very well. That's a part of it being 100% polyester, because polyester is engineered to hold its structure very well, so that's another positive to it. And then you have your standard style details, right? It's got an extended button closure with an extra button on the inside for more closure. Color match buttons all around, standard side slanted pockets, back welt pockets with a button closure, and belt loops all around. So overall, great pair of pants for $49.90, basically $50, $55 if you get the blind hem alteration. I have a few pairs myself. I wear these quite a bit. Yo, real quick before we get into the next pair, if you ain't subscribed to the channel already, scroll down, click that subscribe button. Appreciate that. Now let's dive into the Old Navy slim dress pants. So these come in at around the same price, $49.99, basically $50. They're actually currently, at the time of recording this video, on sale for $25, so half off. The fabric on these is 70% polyester, 28% rayon, and 2% spandex, so a little bit more going on. They have a pretty good feel to them, I can't lie. They do feel closer to wool than the Uniqlo pants do. They're softer, they have a more brushed feel. There's a stretch that is not mechanical. The Uniqlo pants have a little bit of a mechanical stretch, but the stretch here comes from the spandex and the blend. One thing that I don't like about these though is that they attract lint and hair a lot more than the Uniqlo pants. And when you have two cats, it really really shows. It doesn't have any added benefits such as moisture wicking, wrinkle resistance, or odor resistance or anything like that Old Navy mentions on their website. So it's interesting because in the photos online when I was ordering these initially, the fit looks great. It looks like it's not too skinny throughout the leg or the thigh, but in person, they just did not fit me as great. They're too slim on the thigh for me. They fit more skinny throughout the leg. The taper isn't as nice. I don't know, maybe I should have sized up. I'm not too sure. Another issue that I had with these is that the fly, it isn't sewn straight all the way, so it sort of pops out and you can see kind of the zipper when you're wearing them, which sort of feels like the opposite of elevates the style. It makes it seem more like a cheap dress pant, which when you're wearing tucked in shirts all the time, something that you want to avoid. So basically a lot of the same style details as the Uniqlo pant, but a couple different ones that I want to mention. So there's a covered button closure on these, which I actually like a lot, especially on a nice pair of trousers. It's a more elevated look. I don't hate the extended button closure, but I do like the covered button closure on these pants. A front press crease again down the front of the legs, and this one doesn't hold the shape as well. It's not as protruding, and it could just be because the pants fit me tight, like I said, but I've definitely noticed that it does not hold the shape as well. The buttons on these are different colors. They're like these tortoise color buttons. Personally, I think this makes the pant look cheap as well. I don't love this color. They could have just totally gone with a color match and it would have, I think, elevated a little bit more. Same side slanted pockets, same back welt pockets with a button closure, belt loops again, and then a standard hem at the leg opening, which I have already explained, I think looks a little bit cheaper, not as elevated as the blind hem. You could get this altered if that's something you're interested in. So final thoughts, what are my conclusion on this? I think, me personally, I'm going Uniqlo pant all day over the Old Navy pant. I do love Uniqlo, but there's a few reasons for this. It's a better fit. As I mentioned, I went true to size, which is a 30 for me in both of these pants, and the Uniqlo fit out the box just better. The fabric has been more resilient and it's held up better over the wear that I've gotten out of both of these pants. The crease has maintained. It doesn't attract as much lint, which is very important, like I said, when you own two cats. And it doesn't seem like it would pill or snag as easy as the Old Navy pant would. Again, I like the blind stitch over the standard hem that's going on in the Old Navy pant. If this is a huge hiccup for you, you can just take it to a tailor and for, I don't know, $6 to $8 probably get it blind stitched. I do like, as I said, the covered hook and fly on the Old Navy pants a little better. I don't hate the extended button closure. At least it's not just a regular standard button closure, but that's one thing that I do like about the Old Navy pant better. And as I said before, they're also Uniqlo, so they take the cake from me. Great value for $49.90. I have 3 pairs, 2 in black and 1 in charcoal. I wear these things pretty much every single day. They're great in the spring and summer. Overall, a great pant for the value. So that's it for this video. I'd be curious to know if you own either pairs of these pants, what your experiences is with them, or if there's another value pair of dress pants or trousers that I should be thinking about, that I should be throwing in the mix, that I should test out, that you know of, that I don't know of. So let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like. Consider subscribing to the channel. Appreciate the time. I'll see y'all again soon. Peace.